everybody, how you guys doing?
How you doing?
Okay, we all busting some new gear, and you got some new. You can see it.
I straightened my hair, so don't say new
hair
hair.
is flowing. It's flowing.
Hi, Jalen.
Yeah, her
how
hair
you
is
doing
flowing today.
Hi, Weetie.
Yes.
Jay. Oh, of course, Prothrow. Charlotte.
Yes.
Cordell. Hey, Cordell, how you doing?
How's everybody doing?
Cordell, are you in Atlanta? Missy Giants.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, but she was. Well, you guys, we have a great guest today. He's getting ready to come on. We're excited to see him. And, you know.
Uh-oh.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour, bonjour, comment vas-tu? Ça va?
Ah, ça va bien, merci.
Oh, d'accord, mais tu parles plus français que lui-même.
Oh, mon
Je ne parle
monsieur.
pas français.
Yeah,
Ah non,
mais non du tout.
Well, as you can see, we have one of Claude's countrymen on from Haiti. Is that how you say it? I can't say it right. Haiti. Oh, we are so happy to have you.
Yes.
You're looking handsome as always.
Okay.
You guys, this is a personal friend of ours. I haven't seen him too much lately with the COVID and all that, but we're so happy to see you, and we're so happy to have you on. So that's somebody saying sac passe. Everybody knows that, huh?
La boule. Yep.
They don't know anything else. They know that. So that's cool. But we're so happy to have you. And I wanted to read a little bit of your intro. And so we're going to start with, do you want me to read it or do you want to read it?
Go
Okay.
ahead,
Bechir Sylvain is a multi-hyphenated Haitian-American actor, writer, director, and producer. You played EJ on TNT's hit Claws. Who doesn't know about Claws? And Willie on BET and hit series Bigger and Braithwaite, which is happening right now.
Braithwaite, yeah.
Am I saying it right? Braithwaite?
Yeah, I call him Brathwaite, but it's all good.
Braithwaite. On Netflix, Black Summer Season 2, which we want to ask you about.
Yeah.
You're a lifetime member of the Actors Studio, Bechir studied drama at Southern Methodist University and co-founded Ground Up and Rising Theater Company in Miami, where you grew up after immigrating from Haiti as a teenager. I have a messy question to ask you about that, but I'm going to ask you a little bit later. I just want you guys to know what an incredible actor, how accomplished he is. So I'm going to read a little bit more for you, and that is that you performed at Arizona Theater Company. Is that Gable Stage?
Gable Stage, yeah.
Yes.
Gable Stage, Summer Shorts.
We went to that one.
Is that where we went when we saw you?
You went to the Arizona Theater.
Yeah, the Arizona
Theater. Yeah. Okay, and of course, if you guys missed it, but it was incredible. You did an incredible Malcolm X in the play. What was that play called?
The Meeting.
The Meeting. Right. The meeting with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and you played Malcolm X. That was incredible. And an unforgettable lead playing Jay, the Sport Jackson, in the theatrical production in the Royale.
That's the one we
That was the one we saw.
Yeah.
This man, as I told you guys, I think he's just one good part away from getting some nominations. This is a great actor.
Awards already.
Well, I'm talking about Oscars and Golden Globes. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just putting it out there in the atmosphere. Amen. And you also have television credits with This Is Us. Yeah. I stopped watching that show because I was tired of crying. Because I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm just depressed. Blackish, Grace and Frankie on Netflix, which I love. This was his last season, was it?
The season before last.
Okay. And Fuller House. Everybody, please welcome someone we love dearly. We consider him family. Bechir Sylvain. Bechir, you see me shaking my hair, doggone it. Because, honey, it's going back already. It wants to be natural. It wants to be kinky. So
she does just every now and then. So
Yeah.
that always is a nice change of pace.
I give him a new girl. I try to give him new girls every now and then, you know.
That's amazing. That's incredible. I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
should take notes. Hey,
You know,
every month. Hey,
I gotta serve him a new girl because
you know.
sometimes he needs somebody new. So I don't know. I'm Barbie or something.
Or with his multiple personalities. That could be it too.
That too. Trust and believe.
That
That's
could be
probably
it
more
too.
than anything else what's going on.
Good cloud to Daisy, bad cloud to Daisy.
Put all of her business in the street.
Not all. But Bechir, how did we meet? Let's talk about how we first met.
That was
Stacy Evans Morgan. She is the sole reason for us to meet. When I was doing Of That Girl, I think when they came back the second time, she took me to an event. And
the craze. It was at the Palladium.
Right.
yeah. And I just remember, being at the concert, and she was just like, "Oh, you're gonna meet your Haitian brother," and we, like, it was like Claude. He was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh," and I remember saying, like, you were like, "Oh, I'm Claude." I was like, "Claude." I was like, "Claude."
Claude.
Now this was right after. I remember you were just coming out of this really bad car accident or recovering from it right after that. So so that was that kind of tied the two together.
Tammy Taylor's talking about my hair. I'm gonna shake it for you, Tammy.
Tammy Taylor's a friend of hers.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna do this. Hair is gonna be part of this thing.
This today, people are. But so we met there, and then just became fast friends, right?
Yeah,
well, of course, cause you.
Right. So there was a couple of other things.
Well, we go to the same church.
Yeah, same church.
Central.
Central,
and also, we can't talk about it, but me and Claude, we're part of a group.
We're part of a men's group too.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you guys do in that men's group anyway?
Only us and the Illuminati knows. That's it.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, you came over here from Haiti.
Yep.
Did you want to be an actor when you were a young kid in Haiti too, or
Absolutely.
how old were you when you came to the States? And
man, I 13 in Haiti. I was a big fan of TV. Me and my brother, we used to watch everything on television, but everything was in French. I mean, to even dream about doing this, that wasn't in my mind. Entertainment was great, but to even do that, I wanted to be just like my dad. I wanted to be a lawyer, and just, and then once he wanted us to have our education in the United States, since me and my brother were both born here, but we were raised there. And he wanted both of us to get our education and then come back and then become a lawyer and continue the legacy and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So when I came here and saw that entertainment was like a possibility.
Wow. I mean, a lot of people
I'm still like,
want to do it, but aren't as successful as you've been at it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but just the idea of, I didn't know what a theater was. I didn't even know, like, I'm talking about like a theatrical. Like, I knew what a theater, like movie theater, but I didn't know. I was like, what? What do you mean? They're like, yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know. And by luck, I took a class because my law class in my junior year, my teacher was like, you should take theater to have stage presence when you're in the
okay.
That's the reason why I took it. I was just like, all right.
So you started acting to have stage presence, to be a lawyer like your dad. Pretty
much. But then I found out later on, secretly, my dad always wanted to be an actor himself. So
really?
You still have your father? Is he still living?
Oh no, he passed away. It's like,
that is so.
Did he get to see you act in any major?
I think he got to see me. Once. He only saw me once on stage, and I remember him giving me his blessing on his deathbed. Like, he's like, you're gonna be fine. It was so funny. Mom was like, no more shit. Bishop, when are you going to stop this acting thing, Bishop? yeah, she'll, and I'll be like, and then she'll like,
doctor, a lawyer.
Yeah, that's Haitians. They
then,
want
Teacher. You know,
and
something
it'll be
like that.
hilarious because my mom would like berate me about something, and then you know she'll leave. He's like, "Eve, talk to him," and then he'll come in. He'll be like, "Yeah, you know, your mom's just saying this because she loves you, and blah blah blah. But when you're on stage, make sure you put your hand." I was like, he had this thing about like putting your fingers like this. He's like, "Hold your hand like this. You have to hold your hand like this." And I'm like, "All right, sure."
Well, I'm gonna get messy early, only because some of the women are asking me.
Really?
If you're single, yeah, I'm not gonna say which women have, but I've had 2 already, and they want to know if there's single men in the men's group. There are, and honeys, Bechir is single, baby. I'm just putting it out there. He's one of the single men. So, speak. How many languages do you speak, Bechir?
Just three. That's all.
Just three, and yeah. So
English, Creole, French, and Mack.
And
Mack. You
know
did add that one. You did add that one.
Well, let's talk a little bit about. When I saw you in Arizona, because we drove to Arizona from LA to see Bechir in this incredible play, and with it being Black History Month still and stuff. Let's talk a little bit about that character and what he was all about.
Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, it was Jack Johnson, but they called him Jackson just for liberties. But it was basically a play about the first heavyweight champion of the world, which didn't really get enough credit, you know. And I'm talking about back in 1920s, which was a deal, and what he accomplished, and when they finally allowed him to fight, you know, a white man, because back then you weren't allowed to fight, you know, other race. You would fight your own race, and so he went after them. He was just like, I'm the greatest of all time, and if I'm gonna be the greatest, I got to beat everybody.
Right, everybody.
He literally traveled around and followed the heavyweight champion of followed him around, teased them while he was on stage, like, when you gonna fight me? When you gonna fight me? And then finally, they gave him a shot. And the play talks about how a big deal that was, because here it was the first time Black and white versus each other. So even socially, it was just almost like who's better. So there was a lot of threats of saying that if he wins, a lot of people are going to get hurt.
That's right. That's right.
So he had to make a big decision whether or not to, you know, lose or, you know, do what he does best.
Right.
Now, is he the one that was dating a white woman too? And
yeah, man, he did it. And I'm talking about in the 1920s, Jim Crow, and he was doing things that
he just didn't care.
He just didn't care. But you know,
he did what he wanted.
He grew up. He grew up with all white people. I mean, there's pictures of him with, you know, he went to a white school, and he was accepted. So he never felt this pressure, which I don't know how. It's impossible, especially around that time. I mean, we still feel it now, let alone 10 years, 20, 30 years ago. So, you know, it's the mentality that he had of like.
Yeah, I think it was his bravado.
Yeah.
He was Muhammad Ali before there was.
He was a big man. He didn't want to mess with him.
Yeah. How big was he like?
I love his story about, you know, when he used to try, because they created laws that he couldn't, you know, date outside of his race, so he would have to travel across the country to
go around stage because with his wife.
So one of my favorite stories is that he would get stopped by the police, and then they'll give him a ticket, and he was like, "Go ahead and give me 2." And they're like, "Why?" He's like, "Because I got to come back."
He was something else.
This is that dude that he was like, he encapsulated like Muhammad Ali, all the people that we know now. It all starts from him. He was the one that was talking a lot of smack while he was in the ring. Like, while he's fighting you, he's like, "Hey, look what I'm about to do to your boyfriend." Pop, 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 pop.
No, okay.
I mean, like.
I remember seeing pictures of him in these big fur coats.
Oh, man, he had a beautiful
smile. I'd be like, what?
And also, he was charming, too. So here's this big dude with a big smile, and people fell with his charm and his personality, but
Right.
you know, he was a mean brother.
Well, right, he was
You have
nothing to
find-
play
yeah,
with.
don't play with him.
I mean, what method do you use to get? Is there a particular method that you use to get ready for these parts? Because I mean, you are a whole nother thing in claws. Let's talk about that too, and the different.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, the studies that I've done, which pretty much, and at SMU they pretty much teach you like all the methods, and you basically pick what works for you, and then you know,
Okay.
apply it. You know, sometimes yes, the method is great, or Meisner is great, or Uda Hagen, or whatever. And now, especially now that I'm at the actor studio, they are allowing you to find your own artistry and create your own system. So you pull from it, you know,
Oh, okay.
of the actor studio, because they let you, you know, really work on your craft. It's the gym. It's the gym for actors. You go in there and you go, all right, let me work on my biceps real quick. Let me work on my shoulders.
Oh, okay.
You know, and you're working on everything and learning to, you have an environment where you're safe to fail. And one of my favorite quotes from my teacher, I want to call him teacher, but instructor, whatever, Alan Miller. Alan Miller always says, he's like, hey, my goal is to teach you how to fail creatively. And it took me, when he said that, I went, oh, snap. Because, you know, when you come out here, the goal is to always try to be good and try, you know, you have this aspect of like, oh, I need a final product. I need to be great. I need to be awesome all the time. And I need to present this final product. And over there, they're basically saying, no, everything that you do, not necessarily you're going for the after product. You're always aiming for something. You're always challenging. Right. And then when you fail creatively, everything is a final product without you knowing. But you're trying something out. So the idea of it has to be this way, it kind of breaks and it opens the ceilings for you. Now the opportunities are everywhere. And now you're actually being more creative than going, oh, it needs to look this way. You know?
Wow. That's really.
I understand it now. So, I mean, you know, allow yourself to be creative, because in failing, you'll see some other things.
Yeah. Yeah. And failing big.
But you would never see it if you hadn't tried.
Folks decide to say, you know what, I'm going to use an animal to do this role. You might look at them sideways and be like, what? But, you know, but when you see the process of this person that's either taking aspect of an animal. So if it's a rabbit, you know, then you go, what kind of dog? Is it a Doberman? Is it a Bulldog? Is it a Chihuahua? And taking little personality traits. The Chihuahua are very snippy. So he's like, all right, cool. When I talk, I'm going to talk with the snippets thing. And so, you know, and then the reaction of, you know, a scared dog, that's all the time. So you're getting behavior.
Right.
Without knowing, you're not really becoming a dog. You just
already a dog.
Creates character. Like for Jack Johnson, I decided the grizzly bear, because they talked about the grizzly bear in the whole thing. And I was like, what's dope about a grizzly bear? I was like, a grizzly bear doesn't have to show that he's a grizzly bear. He's intimidating already. All he does is stand up. When somebody's come up to him, he's walking, and all he does is just stands up, and you go, oh, I'm gonna go the other way. So he doesn't have to do much. Right. So it was. I remember it, man. When he got a chance to show you he's a grizzly bear, you don't want to mess with him. And the part that I always loved is when I had that. I don't know if you remember the part where I had that coat on and I walked in after everybody. And then I yell at this man. I was literally like capturing my grizzly. It was like I was roaming around, listening, and then I was like, grizzly. Was like, all right.
Wow. And I mean, why you just found this? You're this kid from Haiti. Yes. You come over here at 13. I mean, you're not just a little actor. You're a serious, real actor.
Oh, you know, because since we're talking about Black history, we talk about the meeting. I mean, he played Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
I don't know if people know about that. That's a play that, tell a little background about what this play is about. It's like really a two-man play.
Oh yeah, it's one of the best shows I've ever done in my life. It's a play that basically brings in a fictional meeting between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. But what's brilliant about what Jeff Stetson did with his words is that he used all the speeches that we know, of them and unknown of them, and created this perfect dialogue that allows them to sit down and talk. And then when you're watching the play, yes, you're hearing the words, but then he put the element of their humanity into it. And
Yes.
the end of the play, yes, you hear these moments where you're like, yeah, and you're fighting against each other, but then you realize both of them are just men, just men trying to survive. He has a daughter. He has a bunch of daughters. They have. They're all just like, man, they just want to survive for their kids. And it's such a beautiful piece because you sit there, and we did it numerous times. The time that was actually more meaningful for me was when we did it during COVID, virtually. We actually did a virtual version.
Oh wow!
Oh man, it probably was stronger than the performance.
You did it virtually, but
it was so dope because it was like me and then Ethan, and we did a whole production. We were like exchanging drinks. I mean, it was.
You were in different places.
Oh yeah, it was really, really dope.
I don't know how we missed that.
Oh man,
Next time you do something like that, let us know. Well, hopefully we'll just be able to see it.
That was awesome.
And it was just beautiful to see how both men, how we needed both of them. There was no right or wrong.
Yes, right.
Two people with two different mindset, and eloquently speak about their stance, and aggressively as well too. But yet at the end, you realize we needed both. There's not just one answer. There's multiple answers for this, and we need to work together in order for it. You know.
But I don't know how you do it. You embodied Malcolm to the point where you started looking like him to me. I mean, so what animal were you when you were playing?
Oh no, I mean, I don't even need. Again, it's like every role demands things. Something like I've studied him all through college. That's one of my greatest heroes of all time. I've read all his books. I've watched every interview you probably think of, and for me, it's more about his spirit and what he believed. I think I actually went more with that than anything else. Yeah, the mannerism,
upright stance, and kind
of all that comes later. But then to be emotionally attached to these movements, it's one thing to do the movements and blah 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 blah. But when you actually understand where it's coming from in a spiritual way, and you understand when he points at something, he means something. You're like, oh my gosh! Like you could, and after a while, it just becomes naturally. Like,
can you remember a line something from there? Can you remember a poignant line from that play?
Oof,
don't worry about. You don't have to if you can't remember it. I put you on the spot.
But the thing is, my point is that, like, when you especially someone that was alive, someone that's been here. I mean, Jack Johnson was alive too, but it's not enough footage for me to literally look at him. Right. But with him, it truly was a spiritual thing. And every actor that I've talked to that played him had an experience, because it becomes. See, I'm ready again. I'm like,
yeah, you're doing this.
I'm ready to fall in. No, but
that's very Malcolm-y.
He invades your entire life, because I personally believe he's one of the most, upstanding men. But not only that went full circle. I always call him as a complete man, because here is a man that's gone through everything, and his faith was what led him. And he never faltered after that. Like, I was just so shocked. The commitment, his obedience, everything that he did was fired up with faith. And to see that actually happen, and you could try to find horrible things about him now, and you won't. I mean, he exposed it. That's the point.
That's right.
It's not about, oh, he was a perfect man. He's like, no, he was the flawless man who became this child of God who decided to serve the best way that he can. And towards the end, he did become, to my eyes, like one of these ultimate beings that I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to look up to you.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely.
But do you ever go home with this? I've wondered that. I was a theater arts major at UCLA, but I wasn't on the acting side of it. But I would notice how some people become the character on and off. I mean, I remember one time I was with Debbie Allen. We were doing some work together, and Denzel came to the table. This is when he was doing training day, And to me, he was that character. He scared the mess out of me. Hey, he came to the table and stuff, and I was like, what's this? And then I realized, I think he was still in character. I mean, so do you go through that?
Certain plays, I mean, if you do it for a long time, you know, it's not, yeah, it kind of stays with you until, for me, it's once I wear the clothes, like the clothes are a big thing for me. Like, and glasses, I just go away, you know. And the same thing I did Black Summer, like they put in that coat on me, and I was like, oh.
Let's talk about that zombie movie. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but let's talk. That's on now. The Black.
Yeah, that was an interesting commentary on that role, your role, in terms of, because they said, well, what happened? Because you just kind of.
Well, the Black Summer, let's say it's on Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
And right, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but how they're going to redo your role, because your role impacted a lot of things, but they didn't.
Well, let's talk about what is Black Summer about. I think we should.
Well, Black Summer, it's basically a story about, you know, the apocalypse and zombie. It's a zombie genre show, you know, like Walking Dead and all these other zombie shows. But this one, they got fast zombies. Like, these zombies could run.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. That's very unfair. I don't deal with that. Once they're moving fast, I'm like, that's.
It's not even right. Watching that show, I mean, there are times you catching my breath. But what's cool about it, though, what I love about that show is, again, I love shows that brings the humanity, even in worlds that are unreal, because, you know, at the end of the day, we're humans, and we should put these elements into these things. Right. It's fictional. And I love how you could follow these characters and put yourself in their shoes and go, I wonder if I would do that. Or, I don't think I would do that. Oh, I can't believe they would do that. They would do that. And it really messes with morality in a world where, imagine where, you know, people are turning and turning into zombies. You have to.
I don't think it's impossible. That's just me. But I'm serious. When you look at the stuff in the Ukraine today.
Oh, yeah.
COVID and the shots. And
well,
all I know is I'm trusting Jesus. That's all I know.
I mean, you know, like I was joking around. I'm like, I grew up in Haiti in 13. I've seen some stuff like at 9. Like, so I'm like, it is possible.
You know, like I said, especially after today, it's COVID, after Ukraine. Is there going to be a World War III?
But I love that, you know, at least these shows kind of remind us, or at least warn us of the possibilities that could happen, and what should we do in a moral standpoint. What does happen to morality when things like that happen? Do we hold on to it, or do we just throw it away? And that's, you know, the only and I don't care, but I was like, the only knock I would say is that I wish, you know, the element of God would be in more of these things. But, you know, we live in a world where it's like, we don't want to offend a blog, but I'm like, you know, that's part of it too. I personally believe if societies were to go away and everything is destroyed, and you have to worry about credit cards and bills and all that stuff, and you're back to just regular, you know, surviving, I guarantee, just like the natives, they went to something higher than themselves. You know, so that element is a must, I think, you know.
But how do you I've asked this question before, because we've had other actors and stuff on. How do you balance being a Christian, the roles you take, and the shows you do?
There's no balance. You're a Christian. You don't put half of it there, and there's no balance.
You're playing a role.
You know what I'm saying? And not only that, for me now, especially now, and I've told a couple friends of mine about this, especially after my wife passed. Well, actually, after my accident, really, I did make it I was very serious about everything that I take. I always ask, where's God in it? You know.
Really?
I always, like every role that I've played, I've always tried to find the God in it. And by God in it, meaning like, what is the message that you want me to do? You know, like Black Summer, you would think, oh, zombies, where's God in that? But forgiveness is in it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well,
ooh, you want me to talk about forgiveness? Got you. Bah, 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 bah. I'm saying, claws, drugs,
That's what I say.
all
Where
that
you
stuff.
from?
But
Pause.
I asked, and I was like, God, what's in this? And he goes, a Black father who wants his kid. And I went, oh,
Yeah.
all right, gotcha. Let's go.
What's so funny about that too is both of you guys are from Faithful Central. Nisi
Yeah.
and you are both from our church and are in this. And I've often wondered, like, you know, if you have to play a nude scene, I don't know if you know Christina Elmore, but she's our niece.
Okay.
Our play niece, but our niece. She's in
the Sisters, and she was in
Sisters, and she's also in Insecure.
Okay.
And she had to do a sex scene, and I was wondering, how do you balance that? And I mean, I thought about it a lot as a you know, in theater arts too. Would you do that? I mean, would you do a sex scene or take off your clothes, all your clothes?
Again, I mean, thus far, I have not been challenged in that way yet. And if I do, I go to him and ask and go, all right, what do you want me to do? You know, it truly, you know, luckily enough, thus far, this hasn't been a problem. The only time I remember I did 6 Degrees of Separation in Tampa, and I played Paul. And Paul has a scene where I'm actually making love to a man. And I was like, oof, when I went, okay, God, what's going on? And luckily enough, it's not that, it wasn't even about the sex, but here it was, for me, here was a man who was seeking love in any way that he can. It was a lost human being.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read the play, like, you know, literally, like he thinks that Sidney Poitier is his father, and
right. That's right. I remember that.
all that stuff. And then I was just like, oh man, this poor soul. And I went, ooh,
Okay.
there it is. And I went, all right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And seeing the possibilities for this man, but also you see, because sometimes, you know, we tend to not show the battles, the inner battles that people are dealing with. And those are the things that for me are interesting in the characters, when you see, oh man, he's really going through it.
Right. And sometimes we in the church don't want to deal with what's real either. And
or language is another part. So, but if the language is part of that character, that comes.
Oh, you're talking about foul language. Yeah, oh, okay. I was like, language.
Yeah, but not only that, like
what that character is about.
Exactly. And to me, you know, a good friend of mine, Austin A. Bear, you know, I remember he hit me up one time. He was in the movie Detroit, and he played a cop, white boy, and he called me up and he was like, Bechir. He's like, oh man, I don't know. And I was, what's wrong? He's like, I gotta be a racist. and I went, I was like, all right. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't know. And I was just like, well, if you don't do your job, how would they know how bad it was? So, and he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you really want to tell people how bad it was, you got to show it. And that's the fear.
Yeah. That's your job.
People are trying to change history and trying to pretend that everything is gravy. And it's like, no, we need to hear the truth. So if you're gonna do this role, do it to the fullest intent so we could see the truth of it. Because if you don't, you're doing disservice to the story and you're doing a disservice to history. Because you're doing a piece about Detroit in a historical moment. So I'm like,
you got to reflect. Right.
He's like, that's cool. As long as you say it's okay. I mean,
and then after that, he felt good. That's funny. Well, you know, we touched on a very serious subject, and one of the reasons I know that you wanted to come on was to talk about and illuminate and educate people on cancer and your
Okay.
late colon cancer and your late wife's struggle with that. And we had the pleasure of knowing her, and I know it's a
That's the
sensitive.
last time we saw her was at the play, the meeting.
The meeting,
And
yes, I know. So it's very. I always think about
right,
that.
and it was about supporting her foundation, Brown Sugar Rehab, and so tell us a little bit about that, and the torch that you continue to carry.
Absolutely. I mean, before she passed, Shannon Sylvain, Shannon Chavers, I always want to show respect to the family as well. I would say Shannon Chavers Sylvain. And she was my world. She's the love of my life. And when her last year, her last year, she decided to really be an advocate because we didn't know so much about any of this colon cancer. I mean, I knew a little bit about cancer through my dad because he had prostate cancer and then he went to his daughter. So I knew the process, the ugly process of that. But as far as the information that we got from colon cancer and how it's the #1 killer for Black African-American people and how it's, we've lost Chadwick, we've lost so many people out of this disease, and this disease is extremely preventable. And the sad thing is no one knows how preventable it is. And all you got to do is just get checked. And it could actually be taken care of if you get a colonoscopy. They find the polyps, they take it out, and that's it. You no longer have it, and you get checked the next 10 years. So the sad thing is, here is something that is extremely preventable. It has barely no symptoms whatsoever. If you've met my wife, many people that know
Beautiful.
They would never know. You would never know. Chadwick did 4 films with it.
Did you know him? Did you know Chadwick?
Oh, I met him once. When he did James Brown, and a couple of friends of mine went to school with him. But when she decided to take an initiative to basically bring awareness to the African American community, and also her goal was to create a foundation where she could have money to help people pay for colonoscopy.
Yeah, okay.
You're not thinking.
Oh, it's
45.
Is that
40.
colonoscopy?
Yeah. Colonoscopy about 3,500 or more, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, how much you said?
I said 3,500.
Yeah, 3,500 or more, easy. And now that they lowered the age limit to 45, still they're finding cancer on younger people. My wife was 31 when she got diagnosed.
Yeah, she was so young.
So her goal was, okay, well, how do I create, some kind of a initiative where we tell people about it and also find help. And during her time of creating it, and she got the site up and did so many interviews and started bringing out awareness, she met with Colon Cancer Alliance. Colon Cancer Alliance is one of the huge advocates for colon cancer, and they're doing, I would say, probably the really most of the work as far as like pushing the agenda of changing, trying to change policy, trying to bring awareness. They're doing it all, and they have, great supporters and everything like that. And we decided that we wanted to merge where her initiative will be on their side and basically push that agenda, because they were working towards that agenda anyway.
Yes.
And came in and just, did her thing, and they loved it. So when she passed away, we started having conversations and stuff like that, and we started creating like basically different ways of just bringing awareness to the community, which in March, which is colon cancer month, you will see a lot of more of like advertisement and different things that we've worked on, which I can't talk about right now because secret stuff. But but it's been great. It's been great, and to
you
be
went to White House, huh?
Yeah, to be able to just be an advocate for it, to just tell our story and tell our struggles of how we dealt with it. I got a chance to, speak on colon cancer to the White House. And then they invited us to the White House, where Biden was talking about their initiative, which is called colon cancer moonshot, cancer moonshot. And it's for all cancer. It's not just for colon cancer, it's for all cancer. And basically their goal was literally in line with what Colon Cancer Alliance and Brown Sugar is doing, which is awareness. And they're like, trying to put as much programs and money behind it to, bring awareness and to have, test kits for everyone to be able to, prevent it, because it's such an ugly disease, and too many of us have lost so many, people from it, but we don't know enough about it. And our goal, by next year, we want it to be famous, and we want to save 1 million lives. That's the goal.
Well, you'll find this funny, but Clyde and I went on a date basically, and had joint colonoscopy. I was in one bed, and he was in the other
holding
bed.
Yeah,
and we did.
Man.
It's kind of crazy, but that's how we did it. And
right. So so how simple is the test? I mean,
as God has been working, I've done a commercial for Cologuard, right? Cologuard is basically a fit kit to basically, you have your stool, you put it on a piece of paper, you send it in, and they give you a result whether or not you should get a colonoscopy or not. Now, that doesn't prevent it or doesn't, say that it has it. It basically lets you know, am I eligible to have a colonoscopy because one of the symptoms is blood on your stool. And if you have on your stool or whatever, they'll be able to determine, okay, you need to do a colonoscopy. And this is a problem because the symptoms like blood in your stool, you're just like, well, it could be anything. You could have had beet juice. You could have, it could be hemorrhoids. It could be anything. Of course, as well too is a big aspect of it. A loss of weight, minimal loss of weight. But number one, who's going to complain about losing weight?
Right, exactly. Not me.
Who's not tired? You know what I'm saying? Right. So the symptoms are very, very faint. So it's a tough battle because how do you get people involved and not excited but wanting to do this without the stigma that we have, which is like, well, I feel fine, so why should I need to go to the doctor for it?
Well, so how often should we have the test? Our doctor.
The physician should be able to tell you. A fit test. Once you do that, the physician will literally tell you exactly what you need to do. It's once they see something. It's once you get to the point where you have to do a colonoscopy, that's when it's like extremely serious. But you don't want to get to that point, and
right. Well, we did it just as a matter of, I guess we're older.
I had it like several times. I think the first time I had a couple of polyps. I didn't realize. It was just
you had polyps every time, right?
No, the last time I didn't have.
But the first two times he
did.
First
two times.
Those polyps, those are the ones that turn.
I didn't realize it was serious. They said, yeah, we clipped them out, everything. I said, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize how important that was.
Cancer,
because
I didn't understand that.
But those are extremely important, and that's the thing. You don't even realize how, you're probably like, oh yeah, they found something, they cut it off, and it was fine. And it was like, no, it didn't literally stop you from having colon cancer.
I'm changing the subject again. I think that's great work that you're doing, and we really commend you on that. You should give us some information, though, on how we can contact you or about that, or where we should go if we have concerns.
No, absolutely. Go to Colon Cancer Alliance. Literally, they have every information you could possibly think of, from the knowledge of it, from information on how to get funding and programmings, and they have everything you could possibly.
Whatever you need. And then also there's you have a page on there, or you have a section.
Yeah. Go to
Brown Sugar.
You go to Brown Sugar Rehab, it takes you to the colon cancer.
Okay. Gotcha.
So,
okay, that's how you work that.
And I do want to say this as the last thing on your late wife. She was an incredible woman, and she was a bigwig at HBO, was it?
Yes. I mean, she was a bigwig in everything. And she was definitely she is an angel, but it's very rare that you meet phenomenal people like that. With such.
Well, I'm glad you guys got together, but I'm going back to being messy. Because I want to know, when you came here from Haiti, did you take a boat or a plane?
No, we took a plane. We took a plane.
You took a plane.
We took a plane. Well,
You have to swim.
both my parents. My dad was in politics, so we dealt with a lot of stuff. But
Oh, so did you have to leave? Did you?
oh yeah, we had to leave.
Oh, you're like,
yeah.
His family was like that too.
Yeah,
we had to leave. We left before we had to leave.
But we left because we had to. We had we had 2 weeks to pack everything, sell everything, boxes. Yeah, it was really
that story too. You should write that story if you have.
Oh no, it's there.
Yeah. So, oh my God, your dad came to you one day and said,
"Oh no, like that. No, like our cousin got assassinated. Till this day, still solved. Literally look it up, and you could be like, "Oh wow, it still hasn't been solved." It's just like the same thing that's happening with the president, but where my cousin or my dad's cousin, and yeah, and I remember the day of school. I remember they came to pick me up, and then we had a chauffeur, so he came in and grabbed me and put me in the back of the car, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I remember the car was extremely cold, and I remember,
you guys came from a wealthy family in Haiti.
I would say middle class. I mean, because my dad bust his butt, man. My dad, born in 1934. He had a lot of half sisters, half brothers and sisters, and I mean, that man alone, what he's done with his life. Every time I think about it, I get intimidated because from where he started to where to us, it's not even right.
Yeah. I said, how did he do that?
Yeah, like he was. And he grew up farming, and he studied abroad. I mean, knew 5 languages. The dude was just. It's not even funny. It's not even right. It's not even right. So I never said I came from a wealthy family. He busted his butt. We were middle. I always joke about this when I do stand up. I go, we were middle class, which didn't mean anything. Like we had.
Let's go back.
We got all that stuff.
When you did stand up, what's this? When you did stand up, you've done stand up comedy too?
Oh yeah, I try to do it all, man.
Come on, Bechir.
I like to
know
that.
Oh my God! You know what? I see a name here. I have to give some homage to. This is Cedric Cannon that just came on. He's an opera singer, but he's from he's one of my homeboys from back home. So I wanted to say hello to Cedric. That is so cool. Black opera singer. I just think it's amazing. Yeah, that Cedric's son. I know you probably didn't know I was going to do that, but it's so great to see these accomplishments, some things you can do. But with all these serious roles you've had, Bechir, I cannot see you doing comedy.
Exactly. But people say, but yet, that's, most of the stuff I started with comedy. I did Love That Girl. It was comedy,
Oh, okay. So you started with Stacy.
Yeah. So
okay. That's how we met. That's right.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's like, at that time, nobody saw me as a serious actor. They're like, we don't see him playing serious. He's funny. He's the commercial guy. Da, 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 da. And now people are like, I don't know. I don't think he could be funny. I'm like,
you said you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. But I love doing all. I don't know. I love the art so much. Anything that allows me to tell stories, I'm gonna try it. Especially stage, and comedy is such a beast, man, and I have so much respect. I would never say I'm a comedian because I'm still a study of that. I'll do stand up, but I would never call myself that until I pay my dues. But it's such a beautiful way to express yourself. I found my voice a lot when I'm doing that than anything else, because you're creating and editing and
timing,
like all of that, and you're going, oh wow, who would have thought? It's such a medium and a beautiful way to express yourself and be authentic and true, and don't have to bend so much, depending on what kind of comic you are.
Right.
Wow.
The difference between a comic and comedians. I forgot which one, but it was like one tells a joke, the other one tells the truth. But I was like,
comedian tells the truth.
Now, do you play any instruments or?
Nah, nah. I could pretend to play the piano like nobody's business because I know one song.
Okay.
I'll play like Moonlight Sonata, and I'll be like, yeah, yeah, and they'll be like, oh,
Yeah, they could just dub it in, huh?
they'll be like, play
But
something. Like, no, that's it. It's pretty much.
well, tell us though about you have a unique pastime. I think I haven't talked to too many people that are into horseback riding.
Oh, yeah, I and that's because of my dad. Because my dad used to brag when he was a kid. He used to ride to school in a horse, and his horse named Fletch. And he used to brag about it all the time. Oh, bitch, you don't know. I would say Fletch, and he would go, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, Dad, that's cool. And one day, mine, who's a stunt man, he was like, yo, riding horses, you want to come through? I don't know. He just asked me, and I was like, you know what? I'm an adventurous person. I like doing stuff. So I was like, let's go. And
you went with the stunt man?
yeah, and let me tell you, I fell in love. Like, it's so sad. I got boots now and spurs, and I got cowboy hat. My entire wardrobe is slowly changing into
This profile picture is a cowboy now.
Man, let me tell you, it's like it's almost a breath of fresh air, and I get it now. I get my father even more now because he would go to Hench all the time, and that's a big farm there. He has a beautiful farm there, and I never understood why he always wanted to go there. And I get it. It's the simplicity. It's the simplicity of life, man. And you and a horse and land and just.
I don't get it, Bechir. My butt hurt when I ride a horse.
You ride it right. That's right. If you rode it right, your butt wouldn't hurt. You gotta be in sync with the horse. So if your butt hurts,
so you like a horse whisperer?
Because you
can come on with the horse.
Huh?
So you have to bounce with the horse.
No, you gotta flow. It's all hip.
Flo, do you know?
Yeah. I was baptized, because we used to go riding horseback riding. In fact, out here, used to go horseback riding.
In LA?
Yeah, in LA. And then also back in Detroit where I was. But
he was saying Compton. He's in Compton.
Yeah, Compton. But no, it wasn't Compton. It was out in, I forget exactly where, in the valley. In fact, when we were Calabasas, they had a place close by where they had horses and we, could go out on a night ride and things like that. But the one I learned to ride because the horse threw me.
Onto the ground?
Yeah, and ran back to the.
What you do? Probably something spooked him or something. No, but what's cool? Reginald D. Dorsey. He's actually an original black cowboy, which I didn't know. I met him, and man, everybody in the industry knows Reginald. And man, and this brother, he has his own little business where he basically teaches people how to ride horses and stuff. And what he does is not only, it's not like a pony ride, he teaches you how to be a cowboy. So you saddle him, everything. Like he'll go over there, he's like, all right, here you go. And I'm like, the first day he's like, all right, pick up his feet. You gotta clean his hooves. I was like, oh, well, yeah.
That's cool.
Like it's such a beautiful experience because then I realized by doing that you are bonding with the horse. You're having a special bond.
Right.
Now I'm like I'm lifting up his legs and I'm like talking to it and all that, and it's also very therapeutic as well too. I mean they always say that, but it truly is when you're around these beautiful animals, and then especially when you're riding and you're just like in the field and it's just you and him, and they really feel your energy. Somebody. Yeah. A great example. If you put your hand behind somebody's back, right, and you're very tense, you could feel the tension. Or if you're, very sweet and nice, and so you're on their back, and that's literally what they're feeling the entire.
They feel.
So
yeah.
So if you're nervous, they're like, get off me, Claude.
That's what Claude must be.
I don't know, but they said you better go back and get back on that horse. I said,
no, you have to. You have to. I fell twice, and the first time I just fell because I just was my butt was not on the seat. The second time the horse slipped. Both of us fell together, and I just rolled. I literally rolled off. Like nothing else. I was like, all right, well, and I was like, let's go. And I went back on my. Kept on going.
I had that too, but he threw me.
But it's
another horse went, you know, because we had to cross a little stream.
Mm-hmm.
He went down and kneeled down in the stream.
He loved water, yeah. He
wasn't
Kneeled
feeling
down in
fun.
the stream and said, "Get off!"
He had to pull his head up, man.
Yeah.
You gotta pull
And
his head
ran back to the corral.
up.
He had bad energy. That's what was
I don't
happening.
know what was going on.
Well, this is one question.
But I
Oh,
wanted,
go ahead.
I wanted to tell you. I want to talk about Compton. You know about the, because Mainers.
Honey, people don't know who Maynard
I know
is. You're
people
just
don't know.
talking like.
I'm just
See, we
talking.
get to Kiki in, and he forgets other people. Maynard's a friend of ours who's from Compton,
And when they went there, all the people, a lot of blacks used to ride horses in Compton, and they still do. I mean, they have equestrian, they're zoned equestrian, and they have horses there, and they ride out. So it's, it's a little, if you want to say, segment of society, of black society that I wasn't aware of in here in LA. But there they are in Compton doing it.
Go ahead.
No, I thought you froze on us for a minute, but you're okay.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
So, did you get a chance to ride with the cowboys from Compton?
No. No, I'm saying if anybody is there, I'm definitely would love to go down there. But
Okay.
I go to Sylmar. There's a place in Sylmar. Again, if you just look,
That's where I went there. So.
Reginald D. Darcy, and yeah, you'll see all the stuff that he does, and it's incredible. And the ranch is beautiful, and the animals are taken care of, and it's nice. It's just really, really, really nice. It's such a gift. It's one of the best new habit that I've like. It's such a great.
Really?
Like
well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh, I'm loving it.
I know you like to eat too. All Haitians like good food. So I'm asking, where's some good Haitian food now in LA?
Well, I mean, there's only 2 places that I know of. I mean, there's a lot. Well, we're old school, so a lot of people probably cook at their house and go, here you go. But there's a new place that just opened. It's called Natural. So natural, and then real, REL.
Haitian food?
And yeah, 100% Haitian food. All from the griot to the pickles, fish, and all. And another
you gotta tell people what griot is in case they don't know some of these things.
Griot is basically fried pork. Legume is a vegetable medley of like from eggplant to all these vegetables that they basically like mash up, and they create this nice little stew kind of thing. And you could either put seafood in it, or you can leave it by itself, or you have rice and beans, or you have together, black rice, you name it. Another person that does it is Mama Carmen, who she's been.
Is that the one we went to her house, her apartment?
That was on Western.
Yeah.
Oh, she's still cooking?
Oh man, she's been in the business for a minute, and right now she doesn't have a spot, but she's one of those people that's like, hit her up, she'll hook you up. So both of the places, I highly, try to promote both of them and trying to give them as much business as I can, because their food is extremely authentic and really, really good, and they're just really good people. So that's.
Yes.
Now, if somebody's interested in dating you, do they have to be able to cook Haitian food?
Or ride a horse?
I don't know.
Oh man,
I want to know.
Man. I mean, look, I love food. If they could cook Haitian food, I mean, it's definitely a plus. It's definitely a plus. And if you could ride, great, because then at least you could come with me instead of just sitting there and watching.
My favorite Haitian dishes, lambi, which is.
Wait a minute. Be careful now.
I love it.
Be careful with that lambi.
Oh, I love it. But I'm starting to get I'm allergic to shellfish now, so I haven't had it in a while. You guys, lambi is the
conch
fish.
Inside the conch shell, but what we cook, like a lot of people do it raw, but we actually do a stew out of it, and the sauce, that orange yellow sauce, and you just put that in front of that cracker.
So gosh, it's so good. Yeah, it's
Man.
delicious. It's delicious. So, you guys, if you haven't tried Haitian food, you should
Yeah,
try it.
you
But
should
one
try
of the
it.
best places I've ever been to for Haitian food was a place in Miami.
Oh yeah, Miami
Yeah,
has every corner has Asian food.
I mean, this food is
But
so
you know,
well,
Mama Carmen
the
has
thing,
Long She has Long and black rice.
delicious.
Yeah.
oh yeah, and black rice. Oh,
With the
okay.
mushrooms
The
in it, with
mushroom,
the
black mushrooms. That's how they do
But
it.
yeah, we've made a. I think it's official now that we're no longer trying to call it black rice because we're like folks need to learn how to say it. It's John rice.
No,
jonjon. Okay,
that's
black
exactly.
rice is now jonjon.
It's
Remember
always
that.
been
It's
John.
always
It's always been John rice. It's just that
right.
people
But
are like.
the thing I know the thing in Miami is that instead of griot, they would do turkey.
Turkey.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But they would cook it
Look, we fry everything.
like the
You know?
pork.
Chunks, little chunks.
We you should have seen us. We were totally colored. We got our bags and brought them back to the hotel and ate on that food for 2 days.
And it looks the same, right? They cut it up somehow to make
Yeah.
it. You're like, wait a minute, this ain't. I don't
Yeah.
feel sleepy. Why am I not sleeping? This is amazing.
It's good too.
Oh, that food is good. Haitian food is good. I think it's the mixture of the African influence and the French.
Oh,
together.
absolutely. It's the spices. It's the spices.
Yeah. It's now I'm getting hungry. But I got one more question that we're asking everybody
Oh, yeah,
now.
one more.
And that is, what is your favorite fragrance these days? What are you wearing?
Oh, I wear Perry Ellis white. People
Okay.
seem to happen to love that fragrance. My favorite fragrance that I try to wear, but I couldn't do it because my dad's fragrance, which is Pour un Homme. Pour un Homme is go ahead, yeah. Anybody that grew up with my dad, they're like, oh yes, that Pour un Homme, yeah, that's the joint. And my dad used to wear so much that like he would just smell like it 24/7. Even if he didn't wear it, he just had that scent. And you know, when perfume merges with your, body, like, so he created this scent that was just perfect. It's like lavender with something else. So I used to be obsessed with it. So when he passed, I was like, I gotta carry his tradition. I gotta wear put him. And I would put it, and it just was not hitting right. So I was just like, but the thing is, he taught me because he was like, yo, how he was very into, self-awareness. He's like, how you dress, what you smell like. Very important. Yeah. And it's so funny. It's certain things that he just was obsessed about, like signature. He's like, how you write your penmanship is your identity. And I'm like, all right, that's cool, man. We have computers now, but it's okay. But and he was like, you have to have a cool signature. You can't just, you have to have a cool sound. I was like, girl, fine. So he was like, your scent is very important, and you have to stick with it. Like his thing was like, you can't keep
signature.
Yeah,
signature. It's called.
So he's like, once you found your scent. So throughout high school, I was trying out different. We all try Cool Water and Tommy Hilfiger and that stuff. Ugh. But until I found that Perry Ellis white, and I was like, oh, and
that was yours.
Oh, it was like, oh, I'm done. This is it. This is my scent for life.
No upgrades, or anything like that.
Well, I'm building a collection right now, and Claude is. My birthday's on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So Claude has been every so many days or so giving me another fragrance.
Yeah, she gave me a list.
She gave me
a what list?
Different fragrance. He's giving you different
fragrances.
There you go.
So I'm knocking off that list. She probably will come up with another list. This is her top fragrances that she wants. And so I pretty much got them all.
Yeah, it's so sweet. He gave me one yesterday. It was it's called Flower Bomb by Victor Rolf.
Oh yeah.
Victor Rolf.
Yeah. It's the Ruby Orchard one, and on the back of it, when you turn it around, he put had my initials engraved on the bottom.
Oh. Look at him.
Yeah. Yeah, he got lots of points for that.
Hence the hair.
Yes, the hair. Honey, this stuff is driving me crazy. I'm ready to put some water on it.
No, it looks nice. It looks nice.
Thank
It's
you.
a good
Thank
change.
you.
It's a good change of pace.
Thank you. But so what's coming up next for
you?
Bechir Sylvain?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be on an episode of SWAT. We shot that 2-3 weeks ago. So that's kind of cool. We actually, yeah, the director hit me up today. Actually, she was just like, "Yeah, we just saw your episode. It's great. Can't wait to show it." So at the end of this month, in March, that's gonna.
What is you said? Squad?
SWAT. The
SWAT.
the FBI, Shamar Moore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then what else? Oh, I just started shooting Blind Spotting, which is on Stars, with Davy Diggs and Rafa Gaspar, and their show. I mean, the movie is incredible. Their shows, season 2. Yeah. I'm gonna be on that, and then there's an animation that I did. Hopefully by hopefully, and it's about Haiti.
What?
Comes out, if that comes out, man.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm trying to say us. I'm not gonna say who's doing it.
You doing some voiceover in
animation I did, which I'm still waiting to hear more about, which I'm super excited for that. And then I'm writing and trying to get a couple.
Any theater work? Any theater work?
Theater work? No. Like right now, theater work. It's usually in the summer, because right now it's pilot season. Oh. So I'm always auditioning for all these pilots and stuff like that, which hopefully one of them pick me up.
Stacy just came on. Stacey Evans Morgan.
Hey,
she just came on.
Responsible for this relationship. We had a whole beginning. And congrats to her. She just got a gig.
Yeah, Stacey's got something big going on too. Well, she's got a big show coming up. Do you know what it was? We're gonna have to have Stacey on anyway.
You gotta bring Stacey on to do her thing. Yeah, tell us
congrats.
That's right. She's got something coming up, a big show. But okay. So you've got so much going on, and we know that you're single, and you're in the men's group, and we're just delighted to have you on. We can't wait to see you. What is Stacey saying? Saturdays on Disney Channel.
The program is Saturdays.
Oh, it's called Saturdays.
Oh, Saturdays. That's it.
Okay, and it's on the Disney Channel. That's our girl, Stacey.
So check that out.
Yes, actually, one of the very first people that gave me my first job as a guest star, and that was one of my first gigs. Like gigs out there. I was like, whoa. Like, she took a chance, and she was the only person thus far that literally implemented my heritage into a character. She was like, he's gonna be Haitian. Yeah.
Wow. She's a beautiful person. Family. She's doing big things. So
we appreciate that.
We want to thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you so much. This time went so.
We're gonna have to meet. I'm gonna call you back. We're gonna meet and have some Haitian food.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Stop by saying.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you, brother. It was a great time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. You didn't test Claude on his Creole, though.
Well, it doesn't take a lot for me to fail.
I guarantee he'll come out. He'll be like, "Oh, when besoin l'envie, besoin dire noir, besoin."
When he went to Haiti, somebody called him a couchon. They called him a pig.
Oh, they called him a pig couchon? Wow. Yeah. That's not a compliment.
And all of a sudden, all his Creole came back.
No.
He cursed him out.
No, I didn't curse him out. Well, basically, they assume if you're American that you don't understand Creole, basically.
Oh, no. Usually, they just say you're like, oh, y'all blanc.
Who's that blanc?
Oh, no.
They call me a couchon. And I said, why you call me that, man? What I do to you? It's surprising.
Creole, huh?
No, I said it in English.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I said it in English because I couldn't think Creole that fast.
Oh, wow.
So I said, man, why you call me that? And he looked at me surprised and said, and so, but some people go there and think they're better than Haitians a lot of times, and you know, just kind of, you know, slaughter them, and so so we just
people look down at that.
Yeah, so you know, so you just have to be careful. And I know some of we were there in the mission group, and I said, you guys need to treat them. You know, these are real people, so you can't look down on them.
I mean, that's the struggle that we've had. Not only down there, we had it here. You know, when I first came here, I was hated.
They treated you poorly because.
Oh my! I was hated by everyone. I was hated by the Cubans because I spoke French and all the girls liked that. I was hated by white people because they were like, "Why do you speak that way?" And I was hated by black people because I was Haitian. Like, it made no sense. I was just like, "Where do I belong?" And my peoples came through, and we started a group. And then we're like, "All right, cool. We're gonna be the Haitian posse. Don't mess with us," and that's it.
Haitian posse.
World is a crazy place.
It is.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming, man. We really appreciate you, brother. God bless you, man. And,
thank you.
And bless you on the work with colon cancer, brown sugar rehab, as part of that colon cancer alliance. And you guys check it out. If you need to get tested, go ahead and get tested. That's very serious. And
you can have a double date if you have a spouse and go together like Claude and I did.
Both of y'all do.
We really did that.
They woke up and said, "Where's my baby?" He said, "She's coming out. She ain't ready yet."
We really did do that. But
no,
so good seeing you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So take care. God
Love
bless.
you.
Love you too.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Hello.
Hello. What's up?
Thank you so much for watching Carfitable
Yes,
Talks.
thank you.
Please remember to press that like button, and we need you to subscribe. And also,
leave some comments. Really need to hear from you.
thank you.